camera the whole time.
Look at the camera.
It's recording.
Green screen. Okay. So this is a diagram of the distillation process that we've got set up here. So all the components here are labeled, and I'm going to send a photo of this drawing so you can follow everything that I've drawn here. I think I've got everything labeled. If not, I'll label it as I talk through it. But starting at the boiling flask, we have the heat source underneath, which causes the water. This is salt water that we added some food coloring to. In a minute, we'll take a picture of the actual setup that we've got running. So the water, the heat from the fire heats up the water, causes the water to start evaporating. The evaporated water will travel from the boiling flask up the straw into the Geldol distillation bulb. And in here, it's actually got this this curved piece of glass that sticks down into the bulb, which allows the evaporated water to travel into the straw and then into the condenser. And it actually has this, it's set up like this, so only water that's evaporated from the boiling flask can actually get into this straw. Once it goes into this straw, it comes through here, the evaporated water, it's water vapor, travels through into the Liebig condenser, which is this long piece of glass tubing here. It's actually a double wall tube. The outside wall actually contains, it's all separated, and it gives us a space to pump cold water through the Liebig condenser, which actually cools the inner wall of the glass tube, the straw, if you will, that goes through the center of the Liebig condenser. So this water, or this edge of that glass wall, will be very cold, and it will cause the water droplets or the water vapor to condense onto the inner walls of the Liebig condenser. Once that happens, then the water, which is evaporated from the boiling flask, condenses on the inner walls of the Liebig condenser, and therefore condenses into clean water, because when we evaporate water from the boiling flask, all of the contaminants, the salt and the color, are left behind. So cools off and then runs down through here and drips off into the Erlenmeyer flask. And everybody's actually got a chance to take a sample of it, and we'll confirm. They tested it, tasted the salt water. It's very salty. We put a lot of salt in that. And then we've tested the drips that have come out of the Liebig condenser, and everybody's confirmed that that actually is pure water. And down here at the bottom, and just describe this real quick, what we've got set up is a water pump, just a little water fountain pump, with a bowl full of ice water, which is pumping water into the lower end of the Liebig condenser. That way it pushes the air out through the condenser. And then it fills up this water jacket, which actually goes all the way around the inner straw, and then comes out over here and back into the bowl. So it's just a circulation of cold water through the water jacket, the cold water jacket that surrounds the inner tube of the Liebig condenser. I think that basically describes it. Everybody agree? Okay, so here is the setup in real life. So here we've got the boiling flask and the heat source underneath, and this is still running, so we've still got the fire going. It's just boiling really slowly at the moment. So coming up here is the Geldol distillation bulb, and you can see that inner straw, the little J-shaped or curved shape. You see the stopper, and then leading into the condenser element here. You can see this tube gets wider here. That's the outer water jacket is attached here and here, and then the water is being pumped through this hose from the cold water around through this outlet and then back into the bowl. So that cold water is surrounding the inner tube, and then the water is condensing. You can actually see the droplets forming on the inside of that, and then it's actually just dripping off down here into the Erlenmeyer flask. We've actually collected a fair amount of water. Let this run for about 20 or 30 minutes. And that's the setup.